All right, how we doing? Um, hey everyone. It's Saturday morning. I have just made myself a lovely cup of coffee, and I thought, what better to do with some quiet time than to learn Max 9. Um, so before we kind of get into what I actually wanted to look at and kind of learn today, um, I thought, well, it's kind of stupid, but I thought it would be hilarious to start with some self promotion, because I have just found out that there's a new one of the new things in Max 9 is the JWeb kind of browser can route audio, so I can actually play. Hopefully that's coming through. I have no idea what the sound is like today. This is all a bit sort of last minute, but yeah, I can route audio from. Hey, would you look at that? Shameless self promotion. My album from 2021, I think, on Richard Chartier's Line album label called Percussion Studies. And this is one of those things that I've been meaning to kind of make a video about for ages. This album and the kind of making of it, and maybe I'll get to it at some point. But yeah, it's all kind of convolution, manipulation of orchestral percussion sounds. It was fun to make. Anyway, that's not really what I want to talk about today. Well, it is partly what I want to talk about today. But yeah, really the purpose of today was that I wanted to look at I wanted to learn how the new REPL stuff works. So read, evaluation, print, loop. And it's basically the kind of command line sort of console control for Max 9. And I think it's really, really interesting or has potential to be really, really interesting, but I have no idea how it works because it kind of ties into a lot of the JavaScript stuff, which is new in Max 9. And I got no idea how it works. I suspect maybe some of you are similarly ill-informed with the JavaScript possibilities of Max. So I thought it might be nice to kind of work through it slowly and kind of learn it, because I've said this before, but like I'm not one of the Max certified trainers or whatever they have. I'm just someone that likes using Max, and I like teaching other people to use Max. But there's a lot of new stuff in Max 9, and I got to learn it. So I thought I may as well sort of sit down, and if anyone else wants to learn it at the same time, hey, wouldn't that be lovely? I have no idea if there's anyone watching at the moment. It's quite early. So yeah, it's a bit weird. This whole thing could be done. My mic might not be working. I've got no idea. So if anyone joins us at any point and wants to tell me that the audio is fine, that'd be great. Just to kind of ease my anxiety about that. Okay, right. Let's get rid of this because that was a silly bit of self-promotion. Oh, someone's watching. Hello, it is quite early. It's 11 o'clock. I guess it depends on where in the world you are. It could be very, very late. Audio's fine. Oh, thank God. All right, okay. Now I feel, thank you very much, Sacred Geometry. That makes me feel a lot more better, a lot less anxious. And with that, let's, there it is. Ta-da! The Max console. This is what it's all about. I think, maybe. I don't really know. This might be a very short-lived stream. We might find out that REPL is not particularly exciting. I know everyone's very excited about the jitter geometry stuff, and I've seen lots of people like looking at that and doing interesting things already. And I will get to it at some point, but my brain can't handle jitter geometry and OpenGL and complicated JavaScript stuff yet. I will get there. We will do it in a couple of weeks, but yeah, I kind of thought I'd start easy with something that's kind of new and unfamiliar before we sort of get into like mesh warping and making rubber ducks fly around the screen in jitter geometry. But for anyone that desperately wants to go and do that, I just saw that Cycling 74 did a kind of office hours with some people, and they've got a bunch of videos up of kind of overviews and walkthroughs of the new jitter geometry stuff. So I think when I come to learn it, that's probably where I'll start, along with the help files. But yeah, today I kind of thought we'd start with the REPL and maybe look a little bit at some of the Ableton devices, because I had a quick look for anyone that saw the stream I did last week. I kind of had a quick look at some of it, and I think there's potential for interesting things. Certainly nice, kind of easy to implement oscillators and things like that. But yeah, one of the criticisms of it was that it's kind of, someone was writing in the comments that, yeah, it's a shame that you haven't got audio rate control. And I think there's some devices that seem like they've got audio rate control, but we'll get into it, find out what that is a little bit. Anyway, I digress. So yeah, this is REPL, basically. It's this tiny little thing down here. That was what we had before Max 9, and now we got this. So what is this? Well, a quick look last week kind of shows us that it's basically a way of kind of writing in and commands like the command line on your bash terminal or whatever, and kind of getting it to do things. So we saw last week that you can kind of write in the name of an object and call the help file up for it, which is fairly basic, but you know, it's kind of nice. But you can also like write commands and write arguments to it, which is kind of cool. And I think, you know, we've got potential there for kind of doing some like live coding stuff, but I'm also interested in kind of how dynamically we can start to kind of create objects and things like that. So this is the help file. This is where we're going to start. We're kind of going to go through it. So yeah, the Max REPL, an acronym for read, evaluate, print, loop, is a text entry area at the bottom of the Max console that lets you interact with patches via text command. Okay, cool. So what can we do? We can send messages to Max. Okay, we know that. Does it support piping in the chat? Let's find out. So you're thinking, okay, my programming, absolutely terrible. Piping being sending commands to it from elsewhere, or sending commands from it to elsewhere? Wait, in or out? Is that what piping is? Let's find out. Okay, we can access documentation, control the Max environment with text-based command. Oh yeah, there was a whole thing like you can change the background color of your patch, which I said might be unnecessary, and then I got some flack for it. But hey, you know, these things are necessary. Clarification on piping. From objects to other objects, or from elsewhere. Yeah, I think that would be kind of useful, wouldn't it? Let's find out. I mean, I think I have high hopes. It really seems like, I think the jitter stuff is the headline for Max 9. It really seems like that's what Cycling 74 are kind of pushing. That's what you get on the homepage and all of that. You see up front because it's kind of flashy and it looks sexy and cool. But the JavaScript stuff, like really kind of, we talked about this last week. JavaScript has always been in kind of Max for the last, I don't know, 10 years or something, but it's always kind of just been buried underneath. But they've really kind of, seems like they've bought a lot. It seems like they've kind of implemented it in such a way, because there's this whole live object model thing now that is all JavaScript, so that's interacting with the Ableton API. And there's like a whole kind of JavaScript library, framework, node, I don't know, to deal with that. I think it'd be interesting. I think, yeah, well, let's find out. Okay, okay, we've seen how to show REPL. Maybe what's the best way to do this? If I kind of move my screen over here, pull up Max, and let's put it over here. So can I embiggen this? No, I can't. Ugh. Okay, well I can zoom on my main patcher window, but it seems like I can't zoom this. I hope this is okay. I hope this is legible for anyone watching. But I'll try and read out commands as we kind of get to it. So we've opened it. We've got it visible here. I guess it probably makes sense to have a new patch as well. Let's try and kind of keep some of these things contained. We'll zoom so we can see stuff. But again, I guess it would make sense if from the REPL we can write the command to open a new patch as well. Let's see, a simple. Okay, yeah, we did this last week. So the basic version control, which is sort of the boring version of Hello World, isn't it? We We do see it. Oh, I updated to 9.01 this morning for anyone patching along at home. I don't. It just seems like a few little bug fixes, but. What's going on in this example? It's sending message to a named object. The read in this case is what you're going to type. Then it's evaluating. Then it's printing. And then it's ready for another command, the loop. Okay. I didn't know that's what REPL meant. I've seen it before in constructors for like classes in Python. It's like a, what's it called? Dunder method or thing. In the above example, max is the named object, print version is the message. Okay. Okay, that's a good point. Like the REPL is faster and simpler for sending messages to max and other named objects because you don't need to create and then click on a message box. You don't need a semicolon. So previously you had to do like, I think for like this patches and getting information about a patch, you'd always have to like make an object, write the message in, click on it, and it was a bit of a faff. I guess the kind of counter to that is that you didn't have to do that very often. So in the kind of like quality of life terms of like, oh yeah, now it's really easy to send these things. It's like, yeah, okay, but we didn't need to do it all that much. But I guess in the cases, there'll always be like fringe cases where that's someone's entire workflow. The quick documentation access, I think that could be really nice as well. Because very often, I suppose, I'll create an object and then kind of alt-click it to pull up the help file, then to go into the reference to read about something, which, again, it might be if I'm trying to figure out what an object is. That might be kind of nice to do. So, like, okay, what's an object that I always want to look up the reference for? It's got to be poly, hasn't it? Everyone hates poly. Oh. Okay, so it's actually just a description. It's not pulling up the reference. Use poly to encapsulate a patch inside the object. Okay, so it's just telling me what it does. Okay, well. Jitter, ZL. Are they the objects that you... Yeah, okay, all right. In fact, actually, no. Tell you what, ZL is a really good example of something to look up, right? Because the help file gives you all of the different kind of functions, methods within ZL. But when I'm, teaching a class and I just say use ZL, it's like list processing. There's got to be a better way of describing it to someone that doesn't know what it is. Oh, okay, not that much better. Several kinds of list processing. I kind of thought it would give me a list of the different kind of methods involved. Does man, is it like a sort of verbose and a shorthand version? No, it's not. Okay. Fair enough. Yeah. I'm not blown away by that as the leading feature that they're kind of advertising here. But you got let's persevere, because you've got to assume that there is a reason that they've done this, right? Okay, here we go. Several other standard shortcuts. We can send messages to the REPL itself. Wouldn't we do that anyway? JS is the global JavaScript evaluator. Oh, that's how I kind of Okay, yeah, okay. So that's kind of useful to generate stuff. But again, there's got to be a way of sending that. Oh, no, we did that last time. If you've already got the object, I can then send that value to it, to a specific argument, right? But we had to do that. Hold on. There's got to be a use case of why I would want to use this. Max is the max object. Messages are documented in controlling max with messages. Okay, well, let's open that in a second. Here's the patcher for which this console is the sidebar. Does nothing in the standalone console max window. Okay. Opens a menu. Okay, so this is how, okay, let's go to our object now. So let's say that we wanted to use the ZL object, right? So I'm creating my ZL. Oh, it must be a, let's use nth. So now, if the whole point of this is that I'm using the text editor, we have to assume that there is a way, because I know I can click this. Okay, maybe I can't click this. What the hell? I thought I could... No? I thought... Why can I not... That's add to shortcut menu, right? So I thought that was... Opens a menu showing other available named object targets. If none are currently available, the menu will not appear when you click. Wait, so this isn't all objects? No, that's... Yeah, there's no menu available, which would imply... Oh no, hold on. I think maybe I'm in the global Max console window. Let's close this. Let's open it for this specific patch. Oh no, okay, it was for that patcher. Well, it's giving me the live gain that I've just got buried down here, but I don't even need this, so it's just my template. Okay, so ZL doesn't seem to have the kind of REPL messaging functionality, which I kind of just assumed that it would be all objects. Let's just have a... Oh, no. Let's just have a float. So my float can't accept it either? No, that can't be right. I must be doing something very, very wrong. I guess we should use send, Leonard says in the chat. What do you mean? Like send as in the object send? Or is there like a command send? In fact, actually, hey, let's find out. No, that's transmitting and giving messages. REPL? Oh, this is so weird. Okay, so how do I know what objects support this REPL kind of accept REPL messaging? Named objects. Yeah, but ZL was a named object, wasn't it? I mean, I'm guessing like... What is going on? Have I just not drunk enough coffee this morning? Or am I missing something very basic? Feel free to say, yes, you're missing something very basic. Okay, someone else is confused. Thank you. That makes me feel better. Oh, so this is what we had before. This isn't REPL specific. This is just like message control stuff. we already had this. This list. No, it's just okay. To set the current shortcut, click on the desired name or choose it from the plus menu. It will highlight and the text will appear at the beginning of the text entry box. Okay, so cycle's not working, ZL's not working. What's another object? Not an. In the chat, we're saying REPL will send the data via the send object. But maybe there is another way. You mean the send object, as in like send messages without patch cords. So we'd have like the named, we'd have like a variable name, and then we'd send something into that. So we'd have like test in. But and then, well, there's the REPL object as well now. Receives an output command typed into the Max console. Oh, it has given me an R1. That must be, if I get rid of... Yeah, okay, so it's that. Oh, and it's the second one I've created. Hey! Okay, well, that's something. I'm not sure how useful that will be going forwards. I'm more confused why some objects... Actually, tell you what, this would be a useful thing. If I call manual now, and the REPL object, wouldn't it be great if in their description they say, this is an object that REPL can speak to? No, not really. Creates a named destination target. Oh my god, I'm going about this the wrong way. I tell you what, anyone that clicks onto this stream, I do apologize, because I kind of thought we'd hit the ground running a little more than this. This is just going to be like an hour of head scratching, I think. So actually, when we first started this, it was giving me the live gain object that I just had as like a default. I wonder then, so a regular dial, probably not going to do anything, right? Yeah, that hasn't popped up. But then in this it's got, so I wonder if this is to do with some sort of particular JavaScript kind of functionality of the live objects, because we've got the live dial here now. Right, so I can, that object's coming up. So is this a specific thing to the live objects then? Or are there other... There's got to be. Can I address multiple dials at once? Well, let's find out. Let's get rid of that. But I bet it's just going to give us different instances. Yeah, there we go. So it's given them kind of index points, right? So it's just sort of got live dial and then nothing as 0. Live dial 1 as 10. So what if we did like an asterisk or a kind of wildcard thing? Would that do anything? Well, it didn't give me an error. Yeah, they're indexed, so I can do them individually, but it would be kind of nice if I could group them somehow. But I wonder if, you know, like, can I create an array of those? I guess that would be a JavaScript. Can I call JavaScript on a? No, that's gonna be a separate thing. That's gonna be code box, isn't it? Where I sort of specify a group of things, and then you think you need to iterate over them. Yeah. So if we just had like a kind of for loop and for all in a group, but we'd still have to. Is it going to let me do a for loop? What? Or can I just do it with JavaScript? Oh god, I don't know JavaScript very well. What's like list comprehension for doing it? Oh god. This is definitely going to give me an error, isn't it? What shall I do? Can I just print to? Oh no. Oh no. Print is not defined. Print was the error there. How do I just output something then? No. It didn't give me that 4 times. Okay, I'm going to need to come back to that. You're in C# mode at the moment. Yeah, I'm in Python mode at the moment, so this is all a bit what? Okay, so the P target, so that's how we're sending what, like global kind of patch settings. So that's how we're doing the background color, things like that. I mean, I guess there's probably more useful things than just setting the background color. Oh, to create a new, oh, okay, that's kind of nice, creating new objects. But it seems like a lot of, that seems like a lot of text just to create. Okay, so P script new default dial being the object I'm going to try and create, variable name test dial. Did it put it anywhere? Did it make that? Okay, well, it made that, but it didn't have anything in it. Is that again because... So what did they make in the example there? They made a button instead of a dial. No, that didn't work either. Oh my god, what am I... Let me just copy this in. I'm very confused. So from the so I've taken this to create a new button object with a scripting name. So their scripting name is DDD, I guess. You can enter, but it's not. So I can call it that then. But there's no... I am confused. I am confused and I feel stupid. Oh, so there is a button there. Where is the button? Or is that it? Has it gone now? Yeah, it has. So is that blank object a button? I thought a button was a bang. Yeah, it is. What is going on here? Okay, let's change tact here. Let's assume that this is like the reference. This is just telling me what it's doing, but maybe they've got like... Maybe they've got a kind of tutorial for how and why. Is it that I created a patcher called button in the chat? Well, if it has created a separate patcher, I mean, it hasn't renamed this one. This one's still called Untitled 4, and it hasn't created any new max patches for me. I want like a... What do I want? You know, I want like a kind of command line, you know, ls command, list command, so I can just see like everything I've got. Nope, that was too much to hope for. Let's see if they've got like a kind of tutorial, right? Oh no, not that. That's not hopeful. I kind of thought there'd be like a sort of use case. Here's some cool stuff you can do. Maybe it'll be in the JavaScript stuff, right? Where is the JavaScript stuff? It's all Jitter stuff. Oh, it's like, it's mocking me for making a bad decision to try and do the REPL in this video. Basic JavaScript. Okay, I need that. There's nothing mentioned about REPL. Oh god, this is a disaster. I'm so sorry, everyone. Well, I'm lost. We are, what, 40 minutes into this, and so far the only thing I've been able to do is send values to certain objects, but not all objects, just some objects. I wonder, so let's take the new Ableton stuff. You've got to assume that that's going to be rep. No, okay, it's not. Huh. Someone's put, Leonard, what are we looking at in the chat here? Object, scripting name, change name, use command, name, parameter. Scripting name number 1, REPL. Is this something I feel like I should be wary just like dropping commands into, but we can find out what it does if you want me to copy it in. I'm kind of amazed that even the new yeah, so what are named objects? That's what I'm struggling with. I'm not sure what they are, because you know, all objects have a name. I just want to know what a list of named objects are. Right? Is it so much to ask? Because these all have names. So this is going back to in the REPL help file. It says named objects. I assume objects you have given a name. Oh, you mean like a scripting name, like one that we can call somewhere, like. So there's going to be a way to do this, but I'm just going to do it. Do you think that's what we're doing? If we have a scripting name, live dial 3. Oh, I see. Okay. God, my brain is now just catching up to what you guys put in the chat. Thank you. That I'm slowly catching up. He says. Okay. Okay. Right. So let's try. Okay. I'm going to delete this. I'm going to start fresh. Let's create a new dial object, and I'm not going to do the live dial because we saw that came up anyway. But I'm going to create that. Can I give it scripting name? No, okay. Let's see if so I've got scripting name. I'm going to call it thurley dial because it's going to be nothing like that name. So let's go back to the REPL now. Where's my REPL gone? Hey, okay. Thank you everyone in the chat for your patience with me. Just looking like this, what is this idiot doing? Just faffing about for 45 minutes and unable to do anything. Okay. Okay. Create a number, rename the scripting name. Yeah. And that's why. Okay. Okay, getting excited again. Thank you for sticking with me. We had a dark 45 minutes there while I just was unable to do anything. I feel like maybe we're getting somewhere now. And then, and just to track back, my brain is all over the place. We're going to use the JavaScript math random. Oh no, it would be Well, I'd either pass it a command or I'd like multiply 127 or something, right? No. Why doesn't it understand JavaScript? Is that an order thing? Is it like that? Huh. Now I thought that... Okay, let me just check that I didn't do anything wrong with... No, that's... Okay, that's giving me a number out, so... Let's go back to... You might need to set or use the assignment operator if it's just like an eval. What's the assignment operator? Is that that? I'm in so many different languages because that's a pointer, isn't it? In C, C++. Or is it like pipe like that? This is just like stubbornness because I'm pretty sure we've scrolled past an example of them doing this with an object a minute ago. No, this is JavaScript. Where do I want to be? God. Oh, okay, hold on, there it is. Ah, that's what we were trying to do. Less than, for some reason. Hey. Okay. Okay. Right, so let me go back because there was the thing that I complained about there being too many objects, where we were creating an object and then it didn't show up. Let's try and address that now, because that... Why has it still given me these, even though they no longer exist in this patcher? That's interesting. So, let's figure this out. This was the thing that had like too many commands written into it, right? So we were specifying the patcher with the P argument. Where was it? Patcher scripting. REPL target P represents the patcher next to the sidebar. Okay, so that's our patcher that we're currently in. To create a new button object with a scripting name, because it was scripting name, that was the reason that we weren't getting anything showing up. We were script new default button. Press up until I find the command. Oh yeah, just to scroll back through all my messages. So many bad messages. There we go. So that's what they were doing to create a new... I wonder what script new default is about. Yeah, see, it didn't... It literally just created an object. J bogus. And then I bet if I go into this, does it have the name? Okay, it has the scripting name button. Oh, so it's a scripting name button, not an object button. That's weird. I really thought... I'm just going to make this bigger so other people can read it, so I feel less stupid. There we go. So we just ran this. P script new default button var name triple D. To create a new button object with a scripting name. So what the hell is the syntax here? What is script new default doing? So that none of that is creating anything. So we're not creating anything until it's got the variable name. So the same call button in Oh yeah, no, this is total guesswork for me as well. Okay, I'm just going to do this again. I'm going to copy this to make sure I'm not going mad. This is what they've said creates a new name, new button. Oh. What? Oh no. Let's try that again. What? So oh god, right. Something I have done at some point has created a button. Was it this? No. Okay, so just P button without the less than, more than. What are they called? What are the things called? I've forgotten the name. Message, yeah, okay. Float. No, okay, we can't create a float. Or F? No. Number? Okay. That's weird that we can create a number and not. They got a different name. Flownum, sorry. Okay. Hey, right. Chevrons, angle brackets. Yeah, okay. Right. I would, okay. Is it too much to ask that we could create a series of patched things? You know, because like at the moment, no. I really hope no one from Cycling 74 ever sees this, and they just their heart will sink as they watch all of the hard work that they've clearly put into this meet someone that is literally just randomly typing stuff into the REPL in the hopes that it works. Okay, we can access values. That's nice. Huh. Yeah, okay. I think I really feel like we had a little brief moment of excitement where we finally figured out how to create a basic object. And then what was it? Var name. Which you know, that's lovely. But I wonder what I can do with this. I'm kind of back to what is the point of this? Like I want there to be a reason that I should be using this. Quick documentation access, and it's not even the full documentation. So it's quick description of an object access. Does it run scripts in the chat? I mean, they haven't mentioned it. Unless it's evaluating JavaScript, so like if you had a JS file, could you run that? Like we can execute commands. I don't really know much about the V8 stuff. All I know is it's kind of Chromium thing. So maybe that is... But it's all that kind of Node.js stuff, which I don't really know anything about. Down a bit, Patcher scripting with... Ah, there we go. No, that was the thing that we were doing before. The Patcher scripting was like, change the background color, create a new object. There's nothing here. There's nothing here about that. Huh. Yeah. And again, like if I wanted to run a script, that's what we're doing with the JS object, isn't it? Or what was it called now? Codebox. Codebox? V8 codebox. Right? So, is it console log, right? He says, not remembering how to evaluate anything. How do I do? Oh, God. Yeah. Constructing patches with JavaScript isn't great. But writing a JavaScript patch that you can then execute in Max and kind of spit out some numbers is kind of nice, right? So if you're particularly, you know, I've always used it for kind of doing stuff like for loops and things like that. But he says always used it. I've used it very rarely. And if I have, that's what I've done with it. How am I executing a command here? In fact, actually, is that something I can do? Print. Anyway. Okay. Oh God. Right. This has been something of a disaster. And I would hate to leave it hit there. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the stream here. I'm going to go and get a glass of water, recenter myself, and then I'm going to come back in 2 minutes. And we're going to start again, and we're going to look at something completely different, because I don't want to leave on a downer. We had some very, very, very marginal successes with our first exploration of REPL, but it was somewhat underwhelming compared to kind of what I assumed misguidedly this thing was about. So I think what we're going to do is I'm going to pause the stream, restart in 2 minutes, and I think we're going to look at something else. I think we're going to look at the ABL Ableton objects, because that was something else that I feel like I didn't give a lot of time to when I had a little look last week. So yeah, apologies if you came into this stream thinking, hell yeah, I'm going to learn REPL and it's going to be really effective and it's going to change my workflow. Because that's kind of what I started this stream hoping for. We've learned something. It's that Ollie can't follow the guide properly, and REPL maybe isn't quite the sort of command line one-stop shop for hacking your max patch that I kind of thought it was. So apologies for that. Right, stick around. I'll be back in 2 minutes, and we'll start again, and we'll look at something completely different. We'll bring in new energy. We'll go in positive, and we'll make some nice sounds, as opposed to just watching me create error messages in the console. Cool. Right. I'll see you in a minute.